Sometimes in life it takes flying a stranger with you to Tokyo to understand firsthand what a cliche life lesson really means. My name is Sylvio and I do street photography and music. Here's part 3 of my story.
Yeah, well, that was a long ass night.
If this is the first time you come across my channel, you should definitely check out part 1 and 2 to put all this into context. Previously in part 2.
Where were we supposed to start? We got stuck at this club. Unfortunately, our friend disappeared.
So we ended up going to this club, and there was, instead of a coat room or a wardrobe, you had like lockers. You put a coin in and then you lock and then keep the key on you. After a very long day, we decided we wanted to go home early, and that's not normally a thing I do. But the person who had our locker key was missing. Like, we couldn't find them anywhere. And we're kind of freaking out because Adam had all his camera gear locked up in the locker. We didn't know what to do. So when we went to the club manager and said that we want to take our stuff, they said we had to wait till the club closes which was 5 or 6 a.m. We were just too tired to be in this club environment, so we ended up going to a 7-Eleven and chilling there. The cool thing was the guy working at the 7-Eleven was Uzbeki and could speak English.
Like, where do you find an Uzbeki cashier in Japan?
So we ended up just like chatting with him. And then while I was doing like a stroll around the supermarket, I looked down and then I realized there was a guy in like a squatting position, just like sleeping, passed out. And then I asked the Uzbeki cashier, like, hey, I'm like, should you like take care of the guy? The cashier's reaction was just like, this happens all the time. So we just like let that guy sit there. Eventually, when the time came, closing time, they opened up the locker and we got our stuff.
Okay, so we came home like 5 in the morning, and then we thought that we would be able to sleep in until we get woken up at 9 a.m. by staff who are like, you gotta check out and then check in again at 1 p.m. So we're pretty much running on a few hours of sleep. But that's all right. And now we're heading to the cat. God damn, my jaw's still wired shut. I still got lockjaw from my wisdom tooth.
So it's probably worth mentioning that 1 week before I went to Tokyo, I had the biggest pain in my mouth ever. It turned out that I had an inflamed wisdom tooth. Unfortunately, the inflamed tooth had caused my mouth to lock up, and I couldn't fit more than a finger between my teeth.
Yeah, so we made a agenda of all these places we're trying to cram into 2 days, but one of them is the Cat Cafe. Have some coffee and pet some cats. When in Japan, why not?
You gotta wash your hands for the cats. Despite what it looks, there's still some sort of logic to this hair. Most people are like, what the hell's the difference? But there's a difference. So after our long night and evening, Adam and I decided that we needed to start off our day by doing something really chill, and playing with some cats just felt like a great idea. We had read about this bamboo forest that was supposed to be not too far from town, and then we decided to head over there. So Adam and I make our way through the city, exploring a little bit, filming stuff here and there on the way. Once we got there though, damn, it was quite a disappointment. I mean, it was what it was. Like, it was a park right in the middle of like apartment complexes. I was expecting like kind of like endless bamboo, but I mean, it was pretty thin, and then you could see apartments. But I mean, it was listed among tourist guides as like top places we should visit. Also, because of our bad planning, we also arrived when like pretty much all the sunlight was disappearing. So by the time we got to the forest, it was getting dark really quick. Got some half-ass photos. I mean, we did meet a fun corgi.
Fat.
Fat, yeah, very fat.
Fat. Big and fat.
Arigato.
So we decided to walk a bit of the way and explore the area. And once again, we came across a 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens are everywhere in Japan, and they saved us so many times. So while I was there, I just noticed how the 7-Eleven and the neon was shining, super bright. So I set up my tripod. This is just what I love, like unexpected moments, and then you set up and you're ready to go, and then you start capturing. So on our third and last day in Tokyo, we decided we need to get up early and visit all these places on the list. Like we had a bunch of places. The first place we were heading to was Tokyo Tower. Adam and I never really talked about the roles and the dynamics of the trip. Besides that, we just agreed that, yeah, just film as much as we can. We never really talked about like when or what to film. That all just kind of came naturally, which was super cool. We were walking over an overpass, and then Adam was like, oh, this is great for some B-roll. Then I just set up my tripod and then get into self-shooting mode. Done with Tokyo Tower, while we were walking on our way to the station, I came across this super hip girl who I thought was Japanese at the time, and I was just like, wow, yeah, this is that Tokyo fashion everyone's talking about. And then I stopped her and I asked if I could take a photo, and she was super friendly. And then I realized that she wasn't actually Japanese. She said she was from Thailand, and I was like, oh, okay. Not that that really made a difference, but you kind of wanted like to shoot a cool local and not just a tourist. After the fish market, we headed to the Sensoji Temple, which is one of the most famous temples in Tokyo, and also which means that it's one of the most touristic. So there was a lot of tourists, a lot of people. It was great to experience, but it was definitely really busy. of fortune approaches you, you can't get it. Just like a fish can't meet water, there may be so many possibilities to be a bad case for you. The request will not be granted. The patient will be unhappy. The lost article will not be found. Well, damn. I saw these girls in kimonos and then I thought, like, I gotta go up to them and just ask them if I can take their photo. I did. Then I realized, like, a few minutes later, I saw another group of girls in kimonos. And then another group. Then I realized that it's just a tour group that gives out kimonos during the tour. And I thought I was taking pictures of authentic geishas, or, okay, not really. But it was just tourists wearing kimonos. So I felt a bit fooled. What I enjoyed the most was just the journey getting there, because we got some super cool shots.
You never know what you're gonna get.
So on our way to our next spot, we met this guy named Djembe Canvas, aka Joe. And he like really blew my mind and Adam's, Flambo's mind. Once again, like on our way to a new place, we come across such a unique individual. I asked if I could take his photo and he just gave it all. He gave us a rap and then he gave us some spoken word.
Hey man, Sylvio. Huh? Sylvio. We're free. Are we there yet? We will try our best. We will try our best. We were never there yet. There's no really an answer. It's good to have questions. But the answer is an illusion. The answer is inner peace. So Sylvio inner peace, Adam inner peace, and Joe, Djembe Canvas inner peace. We might be everything. Freestyle dancer and Twitter painter. Freestyle poetry, freestyle poetry. What is rap? We are free. What is art? A-R-T, articulation, rhythm and truth. What is R-A-P? Rhythm and poetry.
Our last spot of the day was the Neju Shrine. And once again, I just felt like there's this like reoccurring theme of expectation and disappointment during our whole trip. And this sounds bad because honestly this is one of the best trips I've ever done, but it was just funny how we had different expectations.
This was a lot smaller than I actually thought than in the picture. I thought that these were going to be like huge monuments, or we're just looking at the wrong place. But this is actually super cool.
I had these expectations of having like huge pillars, and I was gonna do like epic B-roll of like walking through these pillars, and then we ended up getting pillars that were like just above my height. Like Adam actually had to like duck as he like walking and filming through. And honestly, we can't blame anyone but ourselves because we should have just done more research. What I could really appreciate though was just the peacefulness in this area. When we were done with the shrine, we realized that we hadn't really worked on music as we had planned. Adam brought his OP1, which is a super cool all-in-one music device. We hadn't really had time to work on music as we thought because we were just up and moving all the time. So then we just, decided, let's just take a moment to let this trip sink in. I'm not an analog guy when it comes to making music, so it was a real fun challenge to try to work on this one little device for everything, with Adam being my guide.
Hur ställer man BPM?
I ended up doing UK garage inspired drums and Japanese Asian influenced sounds to try to convey the Tokyo scenery and our fast paced adventure. go to, but it was the places and people we saw and experienced along the way. And that's when it hit me. It wasn't about the destinations, it was about the journey, and I guess I finally learned that lesson. You see, I asked Adam to come with me to Tokyo so he can help me shoot my first proper travel video and hopefully inspire me creatively, which he definitely did. But more importantly, what I also ended up getting is a really great friend and creative partner. Since Tokyo, Adam and I have hung out countless number of times doing photo, video, and music projects. He always tells me that we work well together because we're both cancer boys. I'm not totally convinced about that since I've never really been a superstitious person, but what I can guarantee is that there will be plenty of Sylvio Flambo collab projects to come. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. You can't imagine how much this helps a growing channel like mine out. And in the meantime, stay tuned for more travel, street photography, and music adventures. Peace!